It has been nearly 40 days since the last we've heard of the Dead Space remake. Our brother Ryzen has been lying here in the darkness, waiting patiently for the word of God, the divine word of the Marcus, to summon him to his destiny. The time has come. The Markers summon their chosen one and shall reveal his purpose in their grand scheme. We shall be made whole. Altman be praised. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Legend. I was just, how long has it been? I think over a month. I've just been lying here in meditative hibernation for just, I don't know how long. My family had to come in and, like, force feed me and just give me drinks and stuff because all I was doing for who knows how long was just stare up into the ceiling and just watch all of the flashing red numbers and symbols that the marker was blessing me with. I have been summoned here today by the markers. It seems that my destiny is finally forsooth, or at least partially. The game hasn't come out yet. The glory greatness hasn't come out yet, of course, to spread the marker's divine glory and word and to make us whole. But it seems that more information has come from our brothers, from our unitologist brethren that are currently making this game, the developers. And yeah, so this is this is on IGN. This video is basically a kind of presentation. I don't really know exactly what they're going to talk about, but it's 40 minutes long. If you want to see the full video, it's on IGN. They also split it apart themselves, where it's like, oh, this topic or that topic that they're talking about. They split those up into individual videos if you want to see that. But yeah, let's just get right into this. Otherwise, it's going to be a ridiculously long video. So they're going to be talking about, I'm hopefully kind of, extrapolating on exactly what they want to do with the gameplay and the story, or exactly what they want to add is what I'm really interested. Like what do you exactly want to add to the first Dead Space experience? So let's just get right into it. I am ready to receive your divine message, Marcus. Please tell me what is my destiny.
Hi everyone, my name is Philip Charm. I'm a senior producer on
my fellow unitologist brethren. I hear you come with the word of the Lord, the word of God.
All right, let's get started. So
Hell
what
yeah.
we're about to do today is a bit unorthodox for us at EA. We're going to give you, with this live stream, a first look at some very early, and I'll say very, very early footage.
Very, very, very early.
Oh, interesting.
But we wanted to do this because we want to be open with the communication and open about
game developers
how
don't
we're
normally
attacking
do things
this
like
game.
this, man. I love it.
I want to be clear.
These guys are
This
awesome.
is not a gameplay reveal. We're not going to be showcasing very long sections of the game or of the
I thought so.
We want to give you all an early look at the game that we're making to be able to see reactions across the community about the game that we're making. And there's two reasons why we want to do that. First, at Motives, one thing that really is important for us is that we want to create a game that excites players. And I think that SARS Squadrons is actually a great example of this. It came from the nostalgia that the team had over the X-Wing versus TIE Fighter franchise, and it carried through in the experience that they created. It's a little bit what we want to do for Dead Space.
The what?
We see this project, and we want to make sure that we're honoring the legacy, that we stay true to the source, true to the original. And for us, the best way to do that is to engage
guys
with
better.
the community early on.
I would hope so.
To be able to give you first look inside, like behind the curtain, and see the game that we're making, and be able to think, to see how we're tackling it. And we've actually
That's exactly what I wanted. That's
beginning
exactly
of
what
the
I
project.
really wanted to find out.
We got
Like
in
how
contact
exactly they
during
want
the
to do
conception
things.
phase with the community council that we've created, some hardcore Dead Space fans that remain active even after years of inactivity for the Dead Space franchise.
I'm one of them.
And
I
with
just-
this community council,
just been
we
waiting for
established
so
a
long for
relationship
this.
where we gave them first
Year after
look
year.
at
Never
some
losing hope.
executive presentations that we were making with an EA, some of the creative brief, game
Kind
design
of.
documents, first playable footage of the game, and in exchange, we asked them brutal feedback, like, what are we making? Is it good? Is it what fans expect out of this remake?
Where does it suck?
Where does it suck? Like, most important.
Yeah.
And for this live stream today, we're actually thrilled to have two of the community council members with us, joining us. So we have Jackie Butler and Khalif Adams joining us for this live stream. Hello,
Okay.
Jackie. Hi, Khalif. How are you?
Oh my
Hi,
goodness.
Phil. Hi, Roman. We're doing great. Very excited to be here.
Excited to see
Great.
you both.
All right.
Seeing that you're all hanging out in Montreal, looking
Yeah,
good. I see
I'm
that
in the
you
chat
guys
with
made
them
it.
lads.
Looking
Hey
cute.
guys,
I love
how's it
that.
going?
Appreciate it. The host of the Spawn on Me podcast. I'm super excited to be here. I'm a huge Dead Space fan. I've been waiting for this for a very long time, and I get to
Me
rock
too,
with
my
one of my
brother.
favorite content creators on the planet. Jackie, let the folks at home know a little bit more about you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jackie Butler. I'm a cardiac nurse extern, soon to be RN, as well as a streamer and content creator here on Twitch.
Nani?
Let me tell you, Khalif, Roman, Phil,
What the hell?
There's
Interesting.
very few games
Very
that I wish I
interesting.
could experience for the first time again. One of those is obviously Dead Space. So I'm literally over the moon to be here. No pun intended. You know what I'm saying?
I actually
So let's get
experienced it the
straight
first
into it
time,
and talk
the
about
first Dead Space
remake.
at the beginning of this year, actually.
All right, let's get started.
So we're gonna dive right in with the classic dark and
Oh.
claustrophobic headbanger hallway. Shown
Oh, yeah,
here
I
on
remember
screen
this.
is what
Yep.
Dead Space looked like in 2008. Although revolutionary for its time, let's see the design process and how it looks now. Roman and Phil, can you show us more?
One of the first things that we did was
This
we
scene
went
is
back to the
iconic.
legacy assets for the game.
Incredible.
So
Ooh.
we wanted to recreate with the proxies, the full ship, the Ishimura, to recreate it. And then our art team went in and started an added level of details to the environment so that we could have a higher fidelity and start seeing what can the game look like on next generation of consoles.
Oh.
So we went in, added details, then started working on the shaders and the materials to try to have that metallic look that we were
Oh.
after, and just like to get the right materials out of the environment. From there, we did like a first pass at lighting to try to get the mood right, because the atmosphere of Dead Space is pretty much on lighting, and then on VFX to try to get like that full picture of what are we after,
Oh
what
my
are we
god,
trying
dude.
to achieve.
You gotta
for the
get that
game.
grittiness, get
And
that dark,
it looks great
put some
on
blood all over
skills,
put
but actually
put at
it's
like
way
a
better
minimum of like
So what
50
type of
liters of
engine
blood
did you guys
everywhere,
use to
and then it
create
will be
this?
complete.
And what graphics
we're
are you
using-
aiming for?
So
A minimum of
question,
50
Jackie,
liters
you're
of blood.
using
Just
Frostbite as
paint
our
the
dev
walls
engine.
with it.
And we're going for obviously IN graphics, IN fidelity, and our focus is on lighting, VFX, and just overall audio experience to make sure that we would deliver the right atmosphere, something that was key in the original game.
Yeah, so I know we have a real live functional build currently. Can you bring that up?
Hot in my room. It's so.
And this again is work in
Ooh.
progress.
So
That-
yes, that's super early. Like,
Look at that
it's
fog.
End of pre-production build.
fog rolls
just
in,
starting
lads.
Production, so it's
I'm
really,
thirsty.
really far from being done. But one thing
I would
we really
I would think
wanted,
it would. Yeah,
and
obviously,
touch about it,
this thing
is
probably
we
isn't gonna come
wanted
out
to
for
make
another
sure that we nail the
13,
ambience,
14
and
months.
Not only the look, the lighting, the VFX, the fog, but also.
I'm
nail
hoping
that
it'll
ambience.
come out
Give
by
you
then.
The feeling that
Like October
you're
of
in
next
the
year.
Ishimura. You're inside the
Or something that'd be
dark
awesome.
corridors. And
Fall of next year.
Not only it's in engine, it's actually in game. And here's my boy Isaac. So that rig, that armor, it's not the original. It's a new one. It's still work in progress. It's gonna be improved a lot, but it gives a first taste at
Okay.
Isaac Clarke. in
Ooh, I like
Remake.
the improved like kind of movement. He has a little bit
I
more
mean, the
weight.
lighting, everything looks phenomenal.
He has a bit of swagger in his walk.
Smoke.
It looks
This
so
is
good.
very much what we should
nice.
be expecting at this point from
Oh
next
my
generation
God.
graphics.
It's really Dead Space.
It needs a lot of
should
touch up.
never saw it,
Obviously you
I
can
think.
see that.
So it has been
It's
almost 13
rough,
years,
obviously.
since the original game came out, the original Dead Space. Why is this remake happening now, and what exactly is this remake? Can you elaborate
Ooh, that's
on
a
that?
good question right there.
So one thing
That's a damn good
important
question.
for us, and that's why it's for PS5, Xbox Series, or for PC, is that it's not about one thing. Like Dead Space is a super strong experience, and so it's really about improving on a lot of different elements to create that original but still new experience. Whether it's the new lighting and ray tracing, whether, like Phil mentioned, it's about audio, whether it's improvements to gameplay and having new zero-G, or as you're gonna see maybe later.
Oh
improvements in
yes,
dismemberment,
we're gonna have
how you
3D
actually
movement
donate to the
0G
enemies, whether it's about having an unbroken and continuous
in Dead Space 1 instead of that
it's about
crappy
doing a lot of improvements and how we
throwing
enrich
yourself
the experience.
linearly from one place to
That's
another.
really what that remake is about.
Yeah, because we have been looking at Reddit, we've been looking online, and there has been some people in the community.
See,
noting
kind of
that,
avoided the part of the
game
question I
already
was
stood the
asking
test of
why
time. This is
now.
still-
Kind of avoided that
Like
question,
we
but
show,
okay.
Like I mentioned, what's
Just say
really
what it
important
is.
for
Money.
us
Money.
is to
That's why.
capture that original ambience, that original experience, but like you've never experienced before, and that's really the age we're after, I believe.
Yeah, and I mentioned it earlier. Like we want to make sure that we're honoring the legacy. That's one of our production pillars that we have for the game. But at the same time, we want to make it relevant for today. Like the games have evolved a lot since the original Dead Space came out. From obviously graphics, which is like the easiest way to see how it changed, but also as far as systems.
Not easiest necessarily to make.
Yeah,
no,
just,
no, not
just
even-
making like a more
But as far as systems,
incredible
as far
experience,
as
like,
just opportunities for gameplay, and
like
how
the-
to
yeah, the
leverage
gameplay
it,
opportunities.
That's something that we think that, given the evolution that Dead Space had within its own franchise, with Dead
like, do
Space
you
2,
really
Dead
want to
Space
play
3,
the exact
but
same
also how
game
the
again
franchise,
when they're trying to
how
make it for
just
like
the
next
game
gen? It's like,
industry evolved,
don't get me wrong, I want the
outside
remasters
Dead
as
Space.
well. I would love that.
A better, a more complete experience, let's say.
Yeah, I'm just blown away at how good.
But if you
everything
think that
looks
the
from-
first
from
Dead
just even
Space
that small glimpse
could,
into
like,
the-
or any
into
of
the
all
engine,
three of the Dead
it
Space
feels like,
were
I know you're saying
impossible
it's
to
really, really
improve
early, it's really,
upon.
really early, but it's just
Yeah.
this is. My goodness, what is it going to look like when you want to
Lag
kind
there.
of further down the line? So that's really fantastic.
We might keep some surprise for later.
They can be improved greatly with this
So,
two
can
generations
you please now show
of
the stat comparison
technology
of the original 2008
increase.
game versus the current.
Oh, look at that! That looks so
Yeah,
sexy.
that's
Oh,
a massive
dude.
difference. You remember.
Oh, when you put them
your
side by
favorite
side,
game in a
that's when you
certain
really
way,
see
You
it.
think that it looks great, but then when you see improvements, it's wow, big difference, big difference.
Oh, this is gonna be so
Yeah,
fucking
it's always
good.
interesting to see just how far
This
we've
is gonna be
come
so
in terms
good.
of technology, right? Like it was only 13 years ago, but it seems like we've gone leaps and bounds where we're able to kind of take all the kind of small
That's
details.
two
we see on
generations,
the
my
newer
G.
model of Isaac is really
Two
fantastic to see.
generations.
What are your current goals for the remake exactly? How are you going to honor the legacy of Dead
Damn
Space?
good question
'Cause
again.
that is huge shoes to fill. Bar is
Another
set
damn
high.
good question from my girl.
It is definitely, and like the team is actually extremely passionate. We're referencing a lot to the original game, having a lot of looks at it, and like I said, by making it relevant, we're looking at different games and what they did, and see how can we bring it back inside Dead Space. So, like one of the example is something that we're trying to do is to have an unbroken experience, to make the game fully seamless.
Hell yeah.
And how can that create an experience where,
I love
where the
that.
players even more immersed within the game than was previously the case?
Like I said before,
It's really one of
the previous
big
games
objectives
were also
that we
kind of
have
like
for
that.
that
You had to
game is that
retrace your
from
steps
even
instead of just
before
having like
the
a
start screen
loading screen or
till
something.
the end of the game, the rolling credits, to never
Like, you had to
have
make your
any
way
break of
through.
experience, to have that full and uninterrupted
Yeah.
sequence shot.
But
And
there
so
was still some
that, of
interruptions
course,
with Dead Space
had
1. Now there's not
impact
going to be any of that.
on what we're building, and just starting with how the Ishimura and the structure of the game is built, because we don't want any cut. So there should be no loading, how the full ship should be walkable from end to end seamlessly, etc. There's a lot of elements that start to unfold when you start to think the game through that lens of really the unbroken immersion.
And like really from the get-go, like we gave ourselves an objective. Like if possible, could we have players wanting to take the controller and play for 12 hours straight, never putting that down, not even going to the bathroom, just because they were so immersed within the game.
Hey, I just spent
and that's what we're after. That's
like
the type
40
of
days
immersion that we
on the
wanna be able to
floor.
achieve.
In meditative hibernation. Okay? Staring at marker signals and symbols and numbers.
Really focus in on what makes Dead Space fantastic around the horror aspect of the game too. I'd love to hear more about that.
I'm gonna be playing this game non-stop.
Horror,
Be starving myself to death. I'd be like, no, I'm not eating anything until it's done. I don't.
It's about a lot of elements in Dead Space. So of course the story, it's about that. It's that iconic survival horror story. You're alone, trapped on that hulking spaceship. But the main element for us was to get the ambience right, and so that's why we started with elements like, for example, the Headbanger Corridor or the workshop that you can see in the teaser, is to make sure that we capture the ambience. It's about more than just the gore or the monsters or the story or the character. It's really about the Ishimura and how isolated and stressed you feel when you're inside that ship.
Oh yeah,
so
the stress and the tension.
So that's why
that was my first playthrough of Dead Space 1. I literally crawled my way, like tiptoed my way through that game. Like it took me like 20 hours to get through it, when it shouldn't take you more than 6. Because I was always so terrified of going past the next door,
don't break that recipe, that we don't
around the next corner.
The right amount of
I was so afraid I was going to just absolutely get murdered.
Increase the level of tension when you're playing. And so far, the team's been taking that challenge and doing an amazing job at it. And it's always something that's at the back of our head in every review that we're doing. And they're delivering.
And then the incredible thing about this remake is that so many things are going to be tweaked slightly. Like all the Necromorphs are going to come out in the exact same places they did before. You know?
Even when you're doing something
so we're gonna be able to feel that way again, even though you played the first Dead Space.
Isn't that what we're really here for?
You know?
When we say cut off their limbs, you know, we want
so
you to
you're gonna feel that tension again. I love that idea. That's the benefit of a remake,
the dev team has created a
rather than a
system
remaster.
that will be implemented into combat. Would you mind telling us more about the original system versus the new system and what peeling actually means?
Oh, I wish I had infinite ammo. Like,
as you can see with the feed, like
I bet Isaac wished he had infinite ammo in the real game.
It's intentional that we showcase this in a gym.
Woo!
Because
it's it's a little rough, obviously.
Visually, we're not at the right level of quality where we want to achieve.
Pre-alpha
here. That's what we want to talk about.
Yeah, functionality.
And what is the system that we have in mind for peeling, like you said?
So obviously,
you don't got the visuals down yet. This is more of just the.
It's a gym. Everything that
concepts
you see is work in progress.
Functional
first implementation. A lot of VFX are missing. A lot of those modelizations are not final and missing a lot of things like flesh tearing, etc.
But flesh tearing.
That is important for us. And
Hell
I
yeah.
just show it's first. Of course, dismemberment is back, and it's back with all the depth and fun you can have in that space. But one thing we wanted to, and those are the only things, those are the things you can say only on Dead Space. One of the thing we wanted to
only on Dead Space.
About that experience, it's when you're using a weapon that is not a carving weapon, like something not
like the pulse rifle.
Cutter. Plasma cutter is really fun to use. You can just shoot at anything, and really you have that instant feedback of the limb getting cut, etc. But when you had a different weapon, knowing how much damage you were dealing to the enemy, how was he reacting, etc., it was not necessarily as visceral and as clear as
visceral. I like his accent.
That's the
visceral.
thing we're working on at the moment, and we call peeling. It's basically that body destruction technology that we're developing. That's
so instead of having like a kind of clear cut, it's more of an explosive type impact.
The flesh out
So
of
the guns are gonna
bones
like
of the enemy,
hit
and
differently
to
based
give
on
you
what type of weapon they
a
are.
good sense not only of gore and horror and ambience, but also of how much damage am I dealing to that opponent. Is my weapon actually useful against this one? How close is he to die? And that's something for me that is really interesting. And so when we were speaking about
As
why
you're
do
shooting
we
at it,
make
it's
and where can we
losing
improve,
more flesh
those
and that's
are
so awesome.
an example of what we can
So you
do
can
is that
actually
we
see
don't
how
have
much
anymore
damage
to
you're
choose
doing
which
to it.
feature we actually want to push. We can have dismemberment. We can have much more precision
That's so
and
awesome.
body destruction. Another thing that is actually really interesting with that system. So again, for the moment, it's really early. For the moment, you're only showcasing it on the naked slasher, so you only see it with the flesh, but of course later it's going to support like the claw, body armor, different layers, weak points, etc.
Yeah.
But it also improves one of the core of shooting in Dead Space, which is around the precision, and not only the precision of my weapon, but as an example, the precision of the plasma cutter. And so if I was to shoot, let's say, on that leg, then if I'm shooting here, I'm not going to cut the leg because I'm not shooting at the place where the bone is actually visible. If I want to cut that leg now, I need to be much more careful and precise in my aiming and in the shooting. And then,
so you actually have to
what is
slice
interesting
to
is
the
that it
bone
opened
and then
a
shoot
whole new
at
layer
that place that you
of shooting and
exposed in
combat
order
loop
to
where you
get the
can
leg
have
off.
some weapons that are better at carving through the enemies, some weapons that
Yeah.
are better at cleaning them. Sorry for the mic. Some weapons that are better at cleaning the enemy and removing the flesh and the tissue, etc.
Yeah, that was not that way
that's
in
something
the
really,
earlier Dead
really
Space.
interesting for
Like,
us.
you could
Anytime,
shoot
Roman speaks
anywhere
about
on the
dismemberment,
leg.
he gets
You could
really
shoot up
passionate and
a few
expressive.
times, shoot down, and the leg would
With the
come
team
off.
internally,
You didn't have to shoot at the
he
exact
shows a
same
lot of
place
passion
every
in that
time.
topic, so.
It just had to
I can just
be
imagine you being
the
on
leg
phone
or
talking
the
to someone who's
arm,
like, yeah, we
you
need to
know?
get more body dismemberment and more destruction on the
It didn't
body.
have to
And
be
people were just like,
continuously
what the heck is
shooting
he
at
talking
that
about?
exact place that you were
This
shooting
looks
at.
great.
So
Sometimes-
they're making
sometimes
the
there's-
precision
there's
even more
weird
important
moments like
than
that
it
in the
already
team where
was.
You do a meeting about dismemberment and blood and gore and dead bodies, and you miss
I hope they're
somebody's
adding
name and you
TK
invite
Impalement
somebody else to that meeting that is not part of the team,
to
and
Dead
you go
Space 1,
no.
because that wasn't really a thing
Brace yourself, strap
in Dead
in.
Space 1.
So Roman, on what level can we expect the detail of filleting necromorphs, essentially? How detailed are we talking here?
Oh, Jesus.
In terms of the body destruction, the peeling, it's going to be really super detailed, as we can see on that video. So that's the first.
Oh, I
first
can't
step
wait to
of
see
that
the
project,
delicious
is always
spaghetti.
peeling.
Spaghetti.
I think
Oh my God.
at the moment. Yes, here we go. You can see that it's really super precise. It's exactly where you're aiming.
You
shape
shoot and you
of the
tear
projectile
off
at the
muscle
enemy.
and all that and
If
shit.
it was fire, you would see it going through the
Oh, that's
through
so
the body
fucking
of your enemy
awesome.
and burning the flesh, etc. It's the peeling,
You shoot at the head and you can expose the skull. Oh, that's so
in terms
awesome.
Of pure dismemberment, and then where you're able to cut the necromorph's limbs.
Like, you
Here
have to
where
get
we
through
want
the
to
flesh
improve,
before you get
because
through
we
the
feel like
bone with your
characters like
weapons,
Slash,
which is just so
it
much more
was
detail. I love
already
that so
really
much.
deep
That's so
in terms
awesome.
of- Can't wait to show you when you get behind the brute and you start to peel his back.
Oh,
dig
oh,
through
the
all
brute.
points.
Yeah, you shoot at the.
That's
Oh
type
my
of
God, that's so
improvement
good.
we're going for.
Because before all that happened, you shot at him, and then just like some blood
Yeah, I
would
love
come
the
and
peeling
splatter
of the different
out,
layers of
but
skin down to the
nothing would
organs and
happen to
bones,
the body,
especially coming
really.
from a medical
It would
background.
just
It's
be
just
hitting
insane to see. The level
and
of expectation
having
is very much up
splatters,
here,
and that's it.
You know, we'll hold you.
But now
accountable.
you're actually going to be able to see
One thing
damage
that you
onto
might
the
have
body
noticed
as you're
quickly
shooting
in the prototype,
at
and
that
that's
brute.
something we're going
And just
we want
ripping
to
apart its
experience
back
a bit
and
more,
stuff
to
with
do a
whatever
bit
weapon
more.
you're
It's
using.
when you actually
Oh,
cut
the Magi's the
the
Ripper.
limb,
Oh,
but
I'm using the
there's still
Ripper
a
on these
layer of
people.
flesh.
Oh
We
my
don't
God, that's going to be
always
so
want the limb
delicious.
to go out and fly away, and sometimes we keep it attached by the layer of flesh or tendrils to the body. So currently that VFX is missing, but the technology to keep it attached and dangling is there. And so you can grab those with kinesis.
Yes, TK
to,
impalement.
make it a bit faster to dismember them, and then you can throw them back to the opponent. Etc. I
Hell
think
yeah.
Speak a little bit more.
Hell yeah. Dead Space 1
But
didn't
that's
really have
also
that impalement
the
mechanic.
power and,
You
and
could try to
weapon
do it, but
synergy
mostly
loop.
it would
That's
just
also
like
something
knock them back
we
or
want to
something.
try
It wouldn't actually impale them
improve,
or do that much
in the
damage.
Dead Space Remake.
Yeah, by bringing it back.
And you wouldn't really be able to take
it
their
gives you an option
body
to-
parts off very
we
well
actually
either.
took back the impalement from Dead Space 2, so it gives you an option to actually
Yeah.
impale your enemies that's right in front of you and using it as a projectile against your enemies. So
Yeah.
it gives you more creative opportunities to kill your enemies, really.
Hell
So
yeah.
that means that we're going to go from we're going to continue to have cut off your
this
limbs.
is
We're going to
so
have
fucking
dangle
awesome.
your limbs too. Be the thing that people are going to start screaming in the chat.
I don't know
pretty
about you, but
soon.
every
One of the
minute
other,
of
you
this
talked
is
about, how
literally
some of
increasing
these,
my
pieces of
confidence
tech
that this game is going to be
adding
the
to
greatest war
improvements
game
of
ever
what
made
this
to
remake
date.
is going to wind up
Like,
being. I'd love
I
to
don't-
hear you kind
the
of talk a
greatest
little bit
survival
more
war.
about,
I don't know.
some other improvements that we've seen,
Just
not only in
sounds so
scale
good.
in terms of, rooms that we've seen before. We saw the headbanger room a second ago, but I want to dig into and let's pull up the 0G therapy room. Which
Oh,
I think
yes.
also showcases
Yes.
the next layer of
We
where
don't
we're
have to,
thinking
like,
about going from an improvement.
Linearly jump to
Let's
one
talk a
place
little
to
bit about,
another. We can actually float
where you're kind
around.
of seeing this move. We see Isaac
in
kind of
3D
the space
space.
right now, floating around.
I can't
in
wait
space.
to do that in Dead Space
Probably
1,
gonna show
man.
off some of his thrusters and stuff in a minute. I'd love to hear more about kind of where you're thinking about in terms of improvements in this layer too.
So, for us, really.
Oh, I know
the
this
original
room.
Dead
I played the.
Space,
I've
it was
in just the
something
past half
that,
a year.
we felt, so
I
again,
played Dead Space
super
1
rebuild,
so many
that we
times.
felt
I
we
know
could,
exactly what room we're
we
in.
could actually
As soon as I
improve
saw
in
it.
terms of experience and immersion. It's the 0G.
What's that
and
room though? I don't
how
recognize
you would move
that.
around in 0G, and that's something that was really
I don't recognize that
good
room.
and improving the experience in Dead Space 2 and 3
Oh.
that we felt was really missing in the original Dead Space. And so that's why we took that mechanic of
Yes.
flying around.
Of
in
course.
0G.
I mean, it was an
And
improvement
with
that Dead
much
Space
more
2 made.
360-degree freedom. And now
And Dead Space
we
3
can
made
play
it
Dead
even
Space
better with
and
0G,
really feel
actually.
you're in space
And
during
I'm seeing
during
that,
moments.
those
And
improvements.
so also that's a mechanic that we're starting to improve a bit on. Like for example, now you can interact.
Oh, I can't
as
fucking
you
wait
fly
for this
around,
game.
You can go into,
Oh, it sucks so
tighter
much when you have to
corridors,
wait
those kind of things. But
at least
also,
another year.
It allows us to
Maybe a little over a year.
revisit some of the old content and create new
Hopefully
ways to
by
navigate
October,
new paths. Like
November
here in the
or
original,
something
you would have
of
gone
next
back
year.
through that door, through where you came from.
Oh,
And
yeah,
here,
yeah,
it
I know.
allows
Okay, I know
us
this
to
place. Yeah,
create
yeah.
New environments with eventually new challenges.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
To surprise also the people that know the game and.
Interesting.
Would be
They're
like,
playing
"Oh,
on like
man,
Xbox. That was, it said like press A.
No, we're gonna surprise you here.
So it's really delivering on the fantasy of being in space, making sure that we're able to use that and revisiting all the places in the game. In the original, where there was 0G, which was the Superman jump back in Dead Space 1, and now applying full
that's how the
360
kinesis.
motion and finding ways to provide a real challenge in those type of
That's one
environments.
problem with Dead Space 1 I
And
have.
so far, there's been very
is the
good ideas like
kinesis
this
is
one
just
about
really
how
crappy.
we
It's really
retraverse,
slow.
through the same environment.
But that
and
looked
provide
real
something
nice
new
and
for the players.
smooth and
so
great.
We're definitely on the lookout for these opportunities when we revisit each of these gameplay sections.
Oh, that's so fucking awesome.
Yeah, for me in the original game, that 0G
thirsty
jump
God
was
damn it.
very disorienting. I don't know if anyone else agrees with this,
limiting.
but it made me very disoriented. So seeing quality of life improvements carried from 2 back into 1 with the thrusters and the movement is incredible. That's a huge improvement as is.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny.
That terrible
The
0G
community quickly recognized
leaping
and deciphered the Morse code
linearly.
from Ishimura in the original
Ugh,
reveal that we had.
that terrible.
People figured it out right away from the blinking, flashing lights. But you know, we didn't see any comments on the subreddit or online about the thrusters on Isaac. There was
Right?
nothing. Where was that? Look
Maybe it was
alive,
too
chat.
subtle,
Like,
but
Yeah.
It allows us to revisit to the 0G areas, potentially create new ones, and add a whole set of different challenges. In that were not present in Dead Space 1, that we can now create or recreate because you have all that freedom of motion across that one big ship.
Yep. There was also
Oh
one
my God, I'm so
question and
excited.
topic that was prevalent throughout the community that we saw time and time again, and that is the topic of microtransactions. You know, they were apparent in Dead Space 3, so at this point, can you please be transparent and honest
literally
regarding microtransactions?
gutted
And you know, if that will make an
the
appearance in
series.
Dead Space 1 Remake.
Well, they already said
So
it doesn't.
very, very clear. No microtransaction. None
No.
at all. No. Not
That's
at all.
what I'm
None.
talking about.
Mentioned already
None.
in an interview, I think, yes.
You can have I'm fine with
we don't have
DLC,
that in the remake.
like severed
awesome.
the type
That's
of that
awesome.
stuff.
That's good to
I'm
hear.
fine with you
I
adding
think everybody
DLC,
in the chat,
downloadable
everybody in the-
content.
on the
Please
record.
do.
Yeah.
Very
It's
Just
on
no
the record now,
So
microtransactions.
wild. That's what we want to hear, okay?
That's two back of the box quotes that we've gotten for the streamer.
I am a-okay with paying for DLC. Give as much as you can.
The improvements, things you kind of
Please.
transition, ways you want
In the in-between period between Dead Space 1 Remake and Dead Space 2 Remake,
things we haven't gotten a chance to talk to.
give us as much DLC as you can, please.
How do you want to enrich
Oh,
the storytelling
please.
in this game as well? There's lots of different aspects to that, and I'd love to
Ooh,
hear more
enrich
thoughts
the
about
storytelling.
how
Yeah,
they're
add
trying to
more
broaden
lore.
and
Ooh,
expand
yeah.
into that as well.
Damn good question. Dude, these two people, they're
The
definitely
story
Dead Space
and
fans.
narrative
They're
as a-
asking the
as a
really
broader
good questions
topic
here.
In Dead Space. First, we are not.
They
gonna
aren't
change
lying.
The foundation of the story.
Yeah,
Because
of
that
course.
story is really iconic.
I mean, it's a
and
remake. This isn't a
it's
completely
just
new game.
A great sci-fi horror story. It's really about being Isaac and going into
Isaac.
that bulking spaceship
I love
and
that.
being
I
alone
love this guy.
and
His accent.
isolated as you try to survive all those space zombies and stuff. And
I'm not
trying
making
to
fun of
find
his accent anyway. I'm
people,
literally
trying to
praising. I
solve
like it.
that mystery about the marker.
I
and stuff.
find it very
all
fun.
Of those core themes.
Isaac.
Originals, those are elements
Isaac.
that not only we really want to continue to have in the game, but that we want to build on top of. The things that we want to enrich in terms of story or narrative, it's really about the bigger universe of Dead Space. We
Yes,
want to
please,
have
yes.
more ties with what came after, whether
Yes.
it's the books, whether it's the
Or maybe
anime,
what came
whether it's
right
Dead
before
Space 2.
with the
We
Ishimura,
want
you know?
to put
Like,
the original in
yeah.
a more
Yes.
in a better way, if I can say, inside that broader universe. And yes, sometimes it can be through really soul message or
Yeah, the messages and
audio
stuff like
links
that.
or,
Bring
or
some of
message
Dead
in the
Space
environment.
Downfall.
Sometimes it will be a
Dead
bit
Space
more,
Aftermath,
and,
if
we
you've
can
seen those
come to that
movies.
later. But also one thing we wanted to make, it's we wanted
Bring
to,
some of that
build
lore
a
in
bit more on,
with
on
audio
some of the characters
stuff,
around,
maybe some of the, you
around
know,
Isaac, whether it's
text
Kendra
logs
or
and audio
Hammond.
logs
And one thing for me that's really important,
because that
in
was
Dead
something that
Space
was very
is,
lost in
as
the Dead
Isaac,
Space 1.
in the story, you're looking for Nicole, but actually in
Like
game,
what happened right before, what happened right
not
after.
so much, as we can say. So that's something we want to improve. We
You
want
you don't want to
to
spoil
give you the
anything.
means to actually look for, and more than look for, learn what happened to her during the outbreak.
Oh,
That's
learn a little bit
one of
more
the elements that,
than what you
that
did in
we
Dead
want to
Space
make.
1? Oh,
Not
so it's going to be
necessarily
more
improve
of
the story,
Nicole
but
stuff.
Enrich and
I
that
love
we want
that.
to add
I love
in the
that.
lore of the game.
I'm
I like
excited for
that.
that. Again, that's one of those things
Dude,
where
I
you know,
envy
the
people,
world
the
building
people
that
who
you
have
wind up
never
doing
played the
through
original Dead
through the
Space,
ship
and like Dead Space
through
Remake
those
is going to be
small
their
audio
first
logs and the way you kind
experience.
of talked about, bringing up some of those elements into kind of a
Those people
a
are
next layer that
they're in
we'll
for a
be able to get.
treat.
It's going to be so cool to see what things when you do that one-to-one comparison. It's like, oh, that thing got changed. Got
Whoops.
added there.
He got
Yeah, I definitely had same questions on
Got
like
bitch
my
slapped
first
by the lag.
playthrough and the many
It's
other
like,
times.
excuse you?
It's like, what
You
about
thought
the
you could
marker?
speak?
What exactly did happen to Senior Medical Officer Nicole Brennan? I just want more
What
of
really
a
did
cohesive,
happen?
make us whole narrative type situation.
Make
which
us whole.
I'm really hoping that you guys deliver on this future game.
You will be one of the first to know, I think.
Oh, man, you know what I'm saying? Touché.
Council privileges. Council privileges. One of the other and kind of big questions that a lot of folks in the community have been wondering about, have been thinking about, and hopefully you'll
Does
give us
Isaac
an
talk?
answer on this
Yes.
one
Is it?
will Isaac be voiced in this game?
Yes. How did I know he was gonna
That's
go
a-
there? I don't know.
Excuse me? I have something to say.
But I just had a feel.
Oh, what?
Huh?
Excuse me? I have something to say.
Got it right. That's the original of voice actor for Isaac.
Long time coming. Hi, I'm Gunnar Wright, and I'm excited to announce that I'm reprising my role as Isaac Clarke for the remake of Dead Space 1. I want to thank all of you for allowing me to
hell
give
yeah.
Isaac a voice. I can't wait to suit up, throw that rig on, and do my best to try to keep Isaac alive. Although I've got a feeling some of you might try to keep me from doing that. In the words of Isaac
the
Clarke,
people who like to just
stick
run
around.
right into the neck force and
I'm
see
full
all
of
the
bad
deaths.
ideas.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what-
I have some thoughts
Well,
about that
actually,
later that
it
I'll
was
extrapolate
one of
on.
the first thing that
It would
we
take too long for me
discussed
to
with
talk
the
about it
council
right
at
now.
the very beginning. Like, it was one of those open questions that we had. The initial Dead Space, there was obviously no voice for Isaac.
Yeah.
But that was changed for Dead Space 2, Dead Space 3. Gunnar played an amazing part in this. And
Yeah, I
delivered a
freaking
great
loved
performance
his,
to create that character. And so, for us, it was really a question.
his
like,
voice
should we
of-
voice him
of
for this remake
Isaac.
or not? What was clear was that, well, if he's back, it has to be Isaac. It has to be Gunnar. Isaac is Gunnar. And so, like, we started to have these discussions with casting, and it became very, very clear rapidly that for us, that was the right angle to tackle this topic.
Yes, for me, it's so first as a fan of Dead Space, before even being on that project, it was
it was just so much better
Gunnar is
story-wise
Isaac, and
to actually have Isaac
revisiting
have a
Dead Space
personality
1,
and talk
amazing game,
and speak
and
to
revisiting Isaac,
the other
for me,
characters and
we
have
needed
interactions with them.
Isaac to be in Dead Space 1, and so that's why for me it was really important, and I was so happy
I love this
to be
decision.
able
Some
to,
people are gonna have an
to
issue
him
with it, and
be
I
Isaac
just don't
in,
understand
in
them.
Dead Space 1.
I just really
But
just don't
one thing
understand
that
them at
is
all.
really important for us, there is something that is key in the Dead Space theme and ambience. It's the isolation.
Yeah.
You're alone. You're alone on that spaceship. You're alone.
And all
facing
you're trying to
demons.
do is survive
it's
and
really
escape
that feeling of being
the
isolated.
entire way through.
And sometimes hearing a voice, it fights against that. Like, you know, you're going to the basement, it's dark, and you're looking for the light, and you talk to yourself because it's reassuring, especially when you're alone in the dark. And so that's something we didn't want it to break in Dead
Yeah, I mean,
Space. And so
if he's
Isaac
not talking to
is
someone-
only going to talk. One of
Yeah,
the
only
rules
when
that
he's
we
talking
have is
to
that
someone.
Isaac is only going to talk when he's being talked to. He's
Yeah.
going to respond. He's going to engage with Eamon. He's going to engage with Kendra and so on. He's going to be part of those discussions.
Yeah,
Right?
that's like, yeah.
When he's alone.
It's just,
When
it's like
you're
Dead Space
alone
2.
in that dark corridor, he's not going to talk. He's not going to break that immersion. He's not going to break that feeling of isolation. But one thing that was important for us, for Isaac as a character, is he's not a space marine. He's a really specific type of character. Not only is Isaac, but also he's an engineer. And so we really wanted to give him more a sense of being the main character of that story, give him more sense of agency on what's going on. And so when there's a new objective, when there's a discussion about how are we going to blow that barricade, how are we going to restart the engine of the ship, we wanted Isaac to be part of that discussion. We wanted Isaac to be part of the solution. He's the expert. He's the space engineer. And so that's why also we wanted to give him a voice. We wanted to improve the character on that.
It's more immersive.
Here it is.
You're
Gunnar is back.
like it's so much
Couldn't
more
be happier
personal.
about that. The purpose for us to do this is to hear your feedback, hear your thoughts. So hopefully we've shown a few assets. We've talked about the game. Hopefully that triggers some discussion that we're able to look and see and understand what's important for the community. So that's really the purpose for us, and we hope that the community is going to engage so that we can get that feedback back.
And another important
All right.
element really for us is
Oh
that
yeah.
we've started a little bit less than a year now on that project, and we start to have some amazing things, I think, and its production is just starting. And I'm
Look at that.
incredibly
That's
amazed
awesome.
and proud of everything the team is doing. Like, it's one of the most amazing teams
look at-
I've worked with, and I want to
Look
thank
at that
them
freaking
again and
room,
again
man.
for everything
Look
they
at how
do.
much more
And
detail
not only because
these
do
places
the
are gonna have.
It's amazing, but also because it's really difficult time for building all of these things in that context of the pandemic and working from all these things.
Yeah.
And so being able to see all those assets, all those arts, the gameplay they are building in that context, I'm just like, wow, I'm blown away. Like,
The team's amazing.
thank you very much, guys.
That was a really beautiful concept art you had on the screen there. It was medical. It was stunning. I can't wait for everyone to see that in the actual game shipped.
Yes.
This is so
it's
pretty. I want this
so-
in the desktop background.
Right? Seriously.
Pretty,
I don't want that there.
pretty.
I want that as a
I mean, it's pretty
exclusive
fucking horrifying. You
Yeah.
mean, but oh
hook
yes,
you
it
up,
is
Jackie. We
beautiful.
can-
Extremely excited to dangle their limbs and do all of those things within that game.
Oh,
And we
dumb.
hope that also our friends
Blowing
and
off so many fucking
compadres
limbs, bro.
over in the council
Oh, yeah,
as well,
there's
we hope you did
PS5
your
in the
crowd
background.
today. Everybody at home who's watching
Oh, and the
stream, make sure you go
Xbox,
check out Dead
Series
Space
X.
Twitter account so you can get some more updates when they go live. And again, thank you so much for being here today. Take care, and we'll see you.
Hell yeah, I can't wait.
Thanks a
I
lot.
can't wait for the marker to summon me once more to show me more of my destiny. All right, guys. So that's it. That was the presentation. My final thoughts with this here is I am more confident than ever. I already had incredible level of confidence even before this, but every single time I see more from them, they just show us more and more and more how they're not fucking around here. They're not just fucking with us with this stuff and be like make them think that they're getting that they're getting something cool, and then all of a sudden like nah, this is not gonna be anything at all. It's not it's not gonna be cool at all. It's gonna be all fucked up and everything's gonna be different. But like no, like so much things, everything that needs to stay the same is staying the same. And but there's just so much quality of life improvements that are going to be putting into this that happened in Dead Space 2. Dead Space 2 was really the big pioneer of improving a lot of things, like the zero G and adding the impalement. Isaac could be able to move around a little bit more smoother instead of being really weird and clunky. But with this, it seems like they're just taking it even further, where you saw he was moving around in that kind of that hallway, and he has that like kind of swagger or something. This is freaking epic, but also you could feel that type of like weight, like his suit has weight, and he has like a smooth motion with it. You can like kind of see that he's like heavy and he's kind of moving around. He doesn't really feel quite as stiff or like on rails like in Dead Space 1. But yeah, the environments look so fucking clean, and there's gonna be so much more detailed. Like they said with the story's going to be pretty much like it's going to be the basic story, but they're going to I want them to add like more background information than Dead Space 1 did, which they said that they're like looking into, like the information from like the two animated movies, like that Dead Space Downfall and Dead Space Aftermath, as well as the information that comes in like the comics that they have, like the Dead Space comics. Like in Dead Space 1, if you play the original game, you are not going to be able to come away with the full scope of what happened on the Ishimura. There was stuff that happened before, and there was a little bit of stuff that happened right after, before Dead Space 2. And the stuff that happened before Isaac and them get on the ship, that stuff was really not used at all, like shown at all in Dead Space 1. You could not, like there was no way for you to find out. That's why they had to make a movie. That's why they had to make like a movie about it, about what happened before Isaac and Hammond and Kendra came to the Ishimura, because there was nothing at all in the game that talked about it at all, or gave you any information. So I'm hoping they put some of that in there to have a little bit more context about what happened to the ship, and not just what happened to the crew on it, not just the basic plot line where like they bring the marker on and stuff like that, not just that stuff, but the types of events that came to the outbreak happening and everything. The dismemberment is so fucking awesome. Like you actually have to go through the flesh and through the bone, and you have to keep aiming at that spot. You can't just aim lower or higher and expect only one more hit to do it, or two more hits. Like you have to, like every time you stop aiming at that specific place, you have to start from square one. So it requires higher level of precision, where you have to keep hitting the same part of the leg or the arms in order to actually dismember the necromorph. that's so awesome, and actually seeing the flesh and stuff like that be ripped away as you're doing that. If you were using the Ripper, you could actually see like flesh fly everywhere. And yeah, Isaac is getting his getting a voice in this by the original voice actor. I have a little bit of a I have some questions for that though. Like, how is the dialogue that originally happened in Dead Space 1 gonna work? You know, like how is that really like if they add his in there, they can't just keep what the other people said originally because it would be awkward. It would be almost as if they were ignoring Isaac. You know, they wouldn't be speaking to him normally if he speak to them. You know, so if they're adding his voice lines in, then doesn't that also mean that they have to redo Hammond and Kendra's voice lines again? How can they reuse those voice lines? Like, how would that dialogue sound natural? Is my question. I don't really understand how that would be. Also, he sounds older. I mean, maybe that's just his like normal voice, and when he's doing the voice acting, he sounds differently. But I've played Dead Space 2 quite a few times, and when he was talking on screen there, I'm like, you don't really sound like him that much. You sound like way older because it's been like 13. You know, for Dead Space 2, it's been like 10 years, and you know, for someone like 10 years your voice can change a decent amount in 10 in a decade, like going from like your 20s to 30s your voice can change a bit, or from 30s to 40s especially. So I don't know, maybe Isaac's particular voice needs to be brought out. It's not his natural voice maybe. So I guess we'll see. I can't wait. I can't wait so much. It really actually it really kills me that it's gonna take like at least another year for us to be able I hope so much that maybe like they're being so like cooperating and participating type of vibe with us so far. Like they gotta want to put out like a demo, right? Oh, I hope that they put out like some kind of demo for the game before the game comes out. You know, like Dead Space 3 had a demo. That's kind of something that you do with AAA games nowadays, guys. Gotta like a couple months before, give us a demo by summer, please. I want to be able to have like just a taste of the game, just a little bit of a taste of a small section by summer maybe of next year. Please, maybe. Oh, I mean, that is if the game is gonna come out in fall, which God, I please don't make us wait until 2023, please. Like, cause you have to understand, like, it's not like you're like, oh, they haven't been working on it for that long. How could it possibly come out by then? They already have a lot of assets already done. Like they're redoing a bunch of stuff, like the environments and the graphics and this and that and the movements and some gameplay stuff. But like think about it, like they don't have to they don't have to make a story by scratch. They don't have to make entire like room designs. They have to redo the rooms, but they don't have to make the design of the rooms from scratch. All these rooms, where Isaac goes, the flow of the story, they already have that done because of Dead Space 1. That's the stuff that they're reusing. So that is a whole shit ton of work that they don't have to do. So it's not that infeasible, that this game can come out in late next year. I definitely think it will. Hope it will. This is gonna be just the best of everything put into Dead Space 1, graphics to just mind-blowing levels with the next gen. Everything is just check marking with this, guys. Like anybody who out there who's still being like, oh, it's gonna suck, it's gonna be terrible or something, that they should have just remastered. It's like, get over yourself. I think this is actually the best thing that they could have done by far. Like it's bringing so much improvements to the original game, to the original experience. I genuinely feel like it's going to be a greater experience than even like the first Dead Space was. And the fact that even though it's the same story and everything, like the Necromorphs are going to come out of the same exact places as they were before. Like when we're going to play it the next year, it's going to feel like playing it for the first, like, we're gonna be playing the game for the first time. Like, you know, for returning Dead Space fans, like, the story isn't gonna be anything new, but the gameplay itself, as well as going through the game, is going to be new, and that is just a tremendous benefit for a remake instead of a remaster. I am so excited, and I am so much more excited and hyped than I would have been. Like, I would have been incredibly excited for a remaster, but I am actually so much more excited for a remake because of the fact that it's actually going to feel like a completely new experience gameplay-wise. Because with a remaster, like, nothing would have surprised me, because the entirety of the game would have been the same, just made prettier. So this is so much better than what they would have done with a remaster. I really feel like these remakes are going to be so good and so true to the original source that it's going to make the remasters unnecessary, not needed. You know, so anyway, if you enjoyed this, subscribe if you want to see more content on my channel. I'm sorry this is probably a really long video, but there was just so much to react to, so much to talk about, and I'm so freaking excited for this game. I see the path you're trying to show me, Marcus. Oh, we will be made whole. Oh my God, the great. Oh, this game will make us whole, lads. Like, I don't know about you, but you know, ever since I started, like, the beginning of this year playing the crap out of these games, I've just been broken up inside so much that I couldn't make content on it because it's on the PS3 and I can't freaking record on the PS3. But oh my God, it's gonna come to the next gen, the PS5, that I'm gonna play it on and be able to make videos on it, and it's gonna fill the hole in my heart that the original ones are making, because I can't make content on them. I'm gonna be absolutely going crazy, out of my fucking mind with uploading this remake when it comes out. So, Altman be praised. Convergence is nigh, and yeah, I'll see you next time when new information about the game is headed our way. Oh, please. Oh, if we could see some gameplay beginning of next year or something like that, that would be great. Oh, that'd be so awesome. But anyway, until then, see you guys.